Yeah.
What up?
What's going on?
We back. Hey, this is like the jump off episode. We've been gone for a minute. Now we back at the jump off. Your boy
Yes, sir.
LeBron, my co-anchor Primo.
Primo.
You
You see
know
the
what I
shirts.
mean? Got the merch. You feel me?
Feel me?
So yeah, man, let's first off, I want to apologize for the long wait. I wasn't too sure. I don't know about my boy, but I didn't know if we were going to wait for the season to roll back around. But then the Niners have been making so many crazy moves, and we were able to bring back the whole damn deep. We'll get to that, but I just want to apologize for the long break. Let's go ahead and jump into it, bro.
Let's do it.
First things first, the Marcel Harris and Dwelly. Now, those signings to me, they just felt like they were keep your own guys. We're gonna,
Yeah, of course.
A depth, for your roster, just a depth type of signings. Not too much to really say. I don't expect either one of them to make big splashes or do anything crazy during
solid
the season.
Solid signings, though.
Solid signings.
Necessary
signings, things that we needed to do. So I don't really want to hit that too much because that was just, the same thing with Daniel Brunskill. But let's jump into Juice because that was the first splash.
Yeah.
It was actually the day before free agency opened up. How do you feel about the Juszczyk signing?
I mean, happy, bro. I mean, like they say, he's a Swiss Army knife of our team. He's good for blocking. The dude is irreplaceable, at least in Shanahan's system. So definitely excited, man. I was rooting that we would be able to keep him because obviously with the cap the way it was set up and with the pandemic, hats off to the Niners, man. The way they were able to finesse their way to more money and still sign everybody that needed to be signed. So yeah, man, I was excited about Juice.
Same thing. I expected that deal to get done. I know some 49er fans were like, man, he was crying in that last press conference. Is he coming back? Is he not? Me knowing the Niners like I do, I know that he's one of those guys that Lynch and Shanahan value very highly. A lot of teams don't really value a fullback, but I know we do. So I expected him to come back. Second part of it, do you feel like we overpaid Juice? Was the contract a little large, or what do you think?
No, man. I mean, some people might see it as overpaying, but his value, I mean, mind you, not everything he did was flashy and stood out like that, man. It was all of the stuff that was like behind the scenes, you could say behind the scenes, right? Not necessarily, but like the blocking, allowing big plays for other players. So, I mean, I think he was definitely worth it, bro. I mean, honestly, anybody that says we overpaid is tripping, to be honest with you.
I'm with you on that 100%. I don't think we overpaid. You got to remember, too, he's been the best fullback probably in football since he's been in the league. I can't think of anybody else that's been at his level. I know it's not a lot of fullbacks in the league.
I was about to just say he's probably the only fullback left in the league.
He's one of very few. But if you look at his highlights and you look at his tape and you look at what he does, like you just said, opening up the holes, blocking great, giving Jimmy time, whatever it is that he's doing, he always does it at a high level. So I definitely think he wasn't overpaid. If you got a guy that good, giving him $5 million a season, honestly, if you look at the pay scale for a lot of positions, $5 million a season, that's cookies, bro. You know what I mean?
And it sets us up for the future, right? Something we don't have to worry down the line now because we got it out the way. So
got it out the way.
Now we have to worry about Warner. You know what I'm saying? Now we can worry about Warner next year, and the cap will go back up next year. So
it'll be very easy to get him signed when the new TV deals come in and the cap goes back up. They're expecting the cap to go up even more because of the new TV deals. We should be able to re-sign everybody back. Warner, fat deal, all that, no problem.
Opens up the window even more, the Super Bowl window.
Exactly. So we're going to move on to the next player, Emmanuel Mosley, one of my favorite signings. I've been telling people, me and you, we both really liked Mosley since he got to the Niners. Ever since he actually started playing and was starting, I've always liked him. Yes, he blew a couple of defensive assignments. What player doesn't? He was an undrafted guy. Actually, I love the deal. It's a 2-year deal.
$10 million.
what are we paying about? Yeah, four
Five
and
a
a
year,
half,
so it's 10 million.
4.5, 5 million a year. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I love the deal. I have
I'm
no
not mad
issue
at
with
it.
it, and I definitely want to see him take that next step. He said he learned a lot from Sherman. He said Barrett was a lot of help. I want to see him take that next step. But what do you think about the signing of Mosley?
I mean, just like you, man, super, super excited about it. I mean, like you just said, man, I was definitely high on him when he replaced Spoon 2019.
Right.
And he definitely showed his worth in crucial games. I mean, yeah, like a lot of fans are talking about he got burned. I mean, but a lot of corners get burnt by top receivers. Mind you, this guy was undrafted. He wasn't a top prospect in
Correct.
the draft. So for him
Correct.
to jump in and have that much value. I mean, yes, he got burnt by Metcalf and D Hop last year. You got to remember though, that Seahawks game, man, that we won.
I was gonna
He
say that.
made he made one of the unmentioned crucial plays of the game.
Yeah.
He got beat and then recovered
Covered on the slant,
and
dove,
stopped.
blocked the
Yeah,
ball. And the
from
funny thing
Metcalf.
about it is that wasn't the only play. I recall, I think it was two plays on that same drive where he was there and he was solid, holding his spot down. Had that been Witherspoon, I'm not so sure it would have went down the way it went down. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm glad that he's back, bro. Love Mosley. Want to see him take that next step.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
got anything else you want to say about him, or you want to move on to the next person?
Uh, nah, man. Happy with the signing. Glad he's back.
All right, right. So we'll move on to Samson Ebicom.
I
Um,
honestly, bro, I did not know who he was, but then again, I don't really pay attention too much to players on other teams that I'm
right.
not aware of. Obviously the big names, and maybe I
Mhm.
need to polish my football knowledge a little bit more and just kind of study players. Because you never know who's going to show up on our team, right?
On our team. True.
Obviously, all we have is highlights, and the dude is solid. The dude
Solid.
is solid. He's
Solid.
one of those players that if he wasn't on your team, you won't know, right? Because they have Aaron Donald, so they had a lot of star power on that team.
Their defensive line was so stout that he showed up kind of in flashes. And like you said, if you didn't really know that team or really pay attention, he probably would have went over your head. Me being down here, a lot of Rams fans, I
Right.
kind of knew a little something about him. I remember the Chiefs game.
Yep.
He had the 2 touchdowns. He balled out. I think he's a very solid player. I don't know if he's a game changing type of player,
I
but
mean,
I
I wouldn't
love
say
the
all
signing.
that.
I love the signing as far as insurance for D Ford. You look at Ebukam's PFF grade against pass rushing, and I think they had him ranked like 15 at his position. So that's not bad at pressures. You know what I mean?
And now,
He's
now he
getting there.
has Chris Kosarek, the best D line coach in the league. You saw what he did with Hyder last year.
Yes, he takes guys that you don't know about
He
that are
got Hyder
nobodies and
paid. He got
turns them
Hyder
into
paid
got Hyder paid. Now where
to
he
the
got paid, I'm not really cool
hey,
with,
bro.
but
Hey,
yeah,
the C. I ain't even gonna finish saying their names, bro. They're just 49er. Not all rejects, but they're just ex 49er players out there, bro.
yeah. They love digging in our
DJ
trash can.
Reed, Akilo,
Oh
K
yeah,
Hyder now, and
uh-huh.
who's
They
next?
love
Who's
digging
next?
in our trash can and
Carlos
pulling it
Hyde.
up.
And you know what? Fuck Carlos
Yeah.
Hyde, bro. Talking all that shit about the Niners, man. Get
Hey
the
man, he really wasn't what he was supposed to be anyway. So I ain't
scrub.
scrub. There is Sheffield. That's for depth. Dante Johnson. Surprised Dante Johnson got another deal, but he was solid. The
I mean,
little action that he did see, I'm not.
let's,
I'm not upset. Not upset with the
let's
Dante Johnson signing.
hey, let's keep it 100. Special teams, bro. He did his job on special teams, and that's why he got re-signed. He did a good enough
True.
job to get re-signed. And like
Yeah.
you said, bro, he did a decent enough job to hold it down in the corner position when goddamn everybody was gone, bro, last year. So
Exactly. And you know what? I'd like to think that he was better than the first go around with the Niners when we drafted him. Not that
oh
he
yeah,
was bad. Not that he was
no,
bad. Because I remember he had picks to the house. He had did a few things, but I think that was more of just being in the right place at the right time because he wasn't that stout in his skill set. Now he is a lot better. I feel like he's a lot better.
right.
Moving on. Don't want to spend too much time on Dante Johnson. Um, The Tavon Wilson signing, the safety that we signed that played for, was drafted by the Patriots. I believe he played with the Lions last year, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was just another depth signing. I don't expect him to see the field at all as far as, 11 on 11. He'll be out there for the special teams, I expect. I don't know a lot
Anybody that
about.
we anybody that we signed that has 8+ years, 7+ years in the league,
Mhm.
bro. It's just depth signing that probably won't even make the cut at the end of the day, bro. So those signings are just irrelevant to me. I mean, he's not gonna beat out. He's not gonna beat out.
The Nadens and
Jaquishi Tart, bro.
of
Jaquishi
course,
Tart.
of course not.
Jaquishi. That's what they called him coming out of high school. I couldn't even get his name right.
Yeah, I did
Jaquishi
see that.
Tart.
Yeah, straight disrespect. All right, let's move on. Speaking of Tart, we got the Tart signing.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It was a 1 year deal.
Yeah,
It took a little longer than I thought it would have taken to have got him the deal. Heard him speak about it. I don't know if you saw his interview, his press conference.
I didn't, but
He
I
said
mean,
he said that he actually could have, maybe signed elsewhere, but he wanted to come back. He's one of those dudes like the whole secondary pretty much that just wants to keep it together and give it that one more run. Let's run it back. But great solid signing when he isn't hurt, when Tart is healthy. He is top 15, maybe arguably top 10 at his position when healthy.
oh,
So I love the signing. Love the signing. Love to get him back.
touche. Yep. Ditto,
Okay,
ditto.
agree.
Everything you said, ditto.
Hey, and it
I'm
was
down.
a team friendly deal. Didn't break the bank, nothing crazy. So we'll move on. This one actually very surprising to me. I thought this dude would have got money on the open market somewhere else. DJ Jones. I believe it was a 1 year deal. Yeah, 1 year deal. That guy's a monster. 6th round draft pick. Slipped through the cracks on a lot of teams. A lot of teams slept on him. The guy's done nothing but ball out. He was injured in our Super Bowl run. I don't believe he played in the Super Bowl. I think he was injured. But that guy is a monster. He is a run stuffer. He can play. He is a beast. Glad to get him back. How do you feel about that? Same thing, huh?
Love DJ Jones, man. Love DJ Jones. I'm
Love him.
ecstatic about that sign. I was happy he came back, honestly, bro.
I was
But
surprised because you look at his tape, you would think that he'd get money to go somewhere else.
I'll tell you this though. I think the Niners signed everybody they wanted to sign.
No doubt.
Everybody stayed for the 1 year deal
Mm-hmm.
with the mentality that this 2021 is a possible Super Bowl year.
Right.
If not, they were promised bigger contracts next year and for sure Super Bowl run next year with the addition of who knows, you know what I'm saying? Who else we might get.
What's coming down the pipe? I
Exactly.
actually agree with you on that as well. I feel like a lot of these dudes, they weren't really willing to take the risk of going elsewhere. They know our system. They know how hurt we actually ended up being last year. And I think everybody in that locker room pretty much just feels like if we can come back healthy and give it another shot and another run at it, we can get back to the promised land just like we did in 19. Honestly,
We almost lost the most important signing.
most
Trent.
important. He was my next one. I was getting to him. So since you touched on it, let's get to Trent. Trent Williams had a lot of us scared. The talks with him and KC. I believe he said he had a couple of other teams that were in the ring.
KC was the top one though.
KC was the top one, making
he was headed to KC.
Push. Yeah, well, like I said, I don't know. I watched all the player signing interviews that the Niners posted, and he was maybe minutes away from flying out to ink the deal with KC. He said he called Kyle and he told Kyle, look, he said he didn't even have the balls to tell Kyle straight out that he was gonna sign somewhere else, but he called Kyle. He said, hey man, let's get this done. I don't want to leave. Let's just get a deal, and he ended up being the highest paid tackle in NFL history.
Nah, man.
I have no problems with this deal.
No
problem with this deal. Parag, we got a wizard that makes our deals. Okay, this guy Parag was able to get this deal done, make him the highest paid at his position, and only get an 8.2 or 8 point something $1 million cap hit for this season. It's a
You got to
win
remember.
for us. It's a win for us.
You got to remember, bro. Again, I like we just both agreed right now. I
Mm-hmm.
think that these deals were signed pending, like, you know what I'm saying. I wouldn't go as far as saying promises, but
Right.
close to guaranteed that we're gonna go to the dance these next 2 years. One of these next 2 years.
Yeah.
I think Verrett was probably getting offered a lot of money. Like he said, he got offered more money,
He got offered
multi the deal.
multi-year deals. Yeah.
But I'm sure that the contract details, it was all pending injuries, right? So I'm
Right.
assuming that's why he took the 1 year deal with the
Mm-hmm.
Niners, especially since they bet on him for 3 years, bro. I mean, honestly, I would have been kind of upset if Verrett would have signed somewhere else, bro. Being the fact
Yeah.
that the Niners bet on him for 3 years and he
Well,
barely had his first year last year.
it would have made me question his loyalty because they were so loyal to him and sticking with him and hoping that he would get back to that 2014, 2015 Barrett that was a Pro Bowler. Since we were so loyal, I think he just was able to give it back to us. He showed
Hey,
loyalty. And also, like I said, I heard that a lot of the guys in that secondary were all in contact. They were all talking and they were all agreeing if we load this thing back up, we'll all take 1 year deals. We're all healthy. We can run the table. And
K'Wan
maybe,
Williams, Jason Verrett, those two guys,
you know what I
ecstatic
mean?
about the signings, glad that we did it.
Right.
Um, which uh, I think leads us to the $1 million situation that we're in right now, the $1 million question.
Man, man.
So obviously everybody's aware, man. We made the trade with the Dolphins to move up to number 3.
Yes, sir.
Um, it's
Wait,
wild,
wait,
man.
wait. First off, how did you feel when you saw it come across that Friday that the Niners were moving up and giving up those picks? What was your initial reaction to the news?
Well, first of all, it was my birthday, so I was super excited for the news. Like, I mean,
It
obviously you
was.
and me
It
have been
was.
texting. We have been
Yeah.
texting. We haven't done the show, but we have been texting. I said at 12, we're not getting shit. I mean, if we stay at 12, I mean, clearly we're going with Jimmy and we're gonna stick with, I wasn't gonna say we were gonna get another CJ Beathard, but we were definitely gonna go for not one of the top prospects, right?
Right.
Um, I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad. I wasn't expecting the trade, which made it that much better.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, they made the trade. So I was ecstatic, bro. How did you feel? Then we'll dive into the other part.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. For me, it was more of like a slap in the face. I was at work, I'm a driver, so I'm driving. It's kind of hard for me to check and see news. When it came across, I believe I got the text from you, a couple other homeboys that are Niner fans. They hit me. So then I just had to stop. I had to pull over, stop what I'm doing, and really look at the details and see what was going on. And it was like, it was one of those things where when you first hear it, it's like, okay, hold on, did that really happen? Like, hold on, did
Yeah,
we really
yeah,
just do this? Because I was expecting us to stay at 12 and kind of just take maybe best thing available or look at our needs and draft for needs is what I was expecting. So when I saw that, it was more so for me just like, damn, we are not playing. Like, we really are trying to get this thing right. Kyle, John, you know what I mean? Like, these guys are really trying to get this thing right. So I was happy at the end of the day. Really couldn't believe that we did it because I've never seen the Niners pull anything like this off. You know what I mean? So I was ecstatic, bro.
I
Straight
mean,
up.
look, I, the way I see the Niners, bro, it's almost like the Patriots, right? Like they don't do the flashy stuff, right? They make
Right.
the I guess the sensible moves, right? Ones that
Right.
make sense, the necessary ones, not
And that's
the
right.
not the public moving moves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
to what you said, it seemed fake that they had made the jump from 12 to 3. Um, I'm not too worried what they gave up for it because pending how these seasons go, those could easily be late first round picks, which would
Essentially almost
again
second round picks. Essentially.
exactly. So which leads us to this. So there's aside Trevor Lawrence because he's a lock
Mhm.
for the Jags at 1. Pending something crazy happens, he's
Right.
a lock at 1, right?
Right.
And I'd almost say Zach Wilson is a lock at 2 for the Jets. At least that's what they're saying, right?
Right.
But the way things, pretty much a month away from the draft, a lot could change from then. Perspectives change,
Right.
values go up, go
Pro
down.
dates, you see, different things. Right. 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 Right.
Exactly. So to me, I think the Niners made this move because they knew what the Jets are going to do. I mean, mind you, Salah's over there, LaFleur's over there too now. So it would,
Mhm.
to me, it would be a stupid move to not inquire what your ex defensive coordinator's doing at 2.
Okay.
Moved up to 3, knowing what they're going to. Maybe they didn't tell you specifically who they're going to pick, but they told you this is who we're. Don't worry, we're
Not.
not picking this guy. Make the move.
Yeah. Right. So I wanted to say this too. I feel like the Niners had already came together, and as far as our front office, and they already had in mind a splash move this offseason. Um, Regarding the quarterback position. We all know about the whole the Niners being linked to Deshaun and Deshaun picking 2 teams that he wanted to go to, us being one of the 2 teams. Not even going to touch his situation and what's going on with that. Not even going to do it. But I feel like the Niners already had a package put together in place of picks and things that they were willing to let go. So once
You
that fell by the wayside,
right.
but like those exact picks and everything that we were able to give up to move to 3, I feel like that was already something they had planned. They were willing to already let go of those picks.
Right,
So,
exactly.
you know what I mean? Moving up, I kind of got a little bit of a different view as far as what you think is going to happen at 2, only because they're not pressed to win now. They don't have to grab a quarterback in this draft because they do have Darnold. And the system that he was under is not the Shanahan system. It's not the LaFleur system. It's not the system that we ran. And I've heard
Right.
a lot about the Jets believing in Darnold as far as the new regime that just came in and believing that they can make something happen with Darnold. I'm more under the impression that these guys are going to probably take
Kyle
Penny
Pitts.
Sewell or no, an offensive lineman or sure up their line so that we can really get a good assessment of what we have in Darnold. I don't think they want to come in and throw Darnold by the wayside or move Darnold because if that was the case, they would have already made that move. We've seen a
So
lot of quarterbacks moved already.
yeah, I mean, I don't believe that the Jets are set on Wilson per se. I'm just going with what the media is saying, that they're saying that they're
Right,
set on. And Steve Young actually was on KMBR today here in the Bay Area radio station.
right.
Um, he came out saying that the Jets are actually fully committed to Wilson,
Hmm.
and that they're currently recruiting his family. But I think it was in an interview too that Wilson pretty much uh, insinuated that he wanted to play for the Niners.
Yes, yes.
Um, so
I actually saw an interview that he did where he said that the Niners would be a great fit for him, and the Kyle
exactly,
Shanahan scheme and system is like catered to what he does. Pretty much is what he said.
exactly. Um, so to this point, we're at 3. Lawrence out of the picture,
Should
like
be,
we said,
should be
unless something crazy happens.
right.
But for me, my top prospects are Fields 1, Wilson 2. Um, I don't really have a third one because I don't want Hamburger Jones as my quarterback. So, the 2 guys I want are either Fields or
Fields is
Wilson.
done.
I honestly
Yeah,
think
right,
Fields would be a better fit for the Niners.
right,
Like I said, we don't have film to study. All we can go off is highlights. But the
right.
little that I've seen from him, he's a pure pocket QB with the ability to run. Clearly, he's fast. He's a tough dude. He has that toughness that Kyle wants.
He
Um,
does. He does.
so to me, that's my top pick. I wouldn't be mad at Wilson though either because
Mhm.
he reminds me of a Russell Wilson. Um,
A little guy,
but
scrappy, kind of move around, kind of just makes things happen on the fly.
exactly,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Those would be my picks, bro. And I think we're gonna get either one. like I said, bro, I don't. To me, the Niners organization, Kyle Shanahan, and John Lynch, are not dumb enough to jump up to 3 and give up all that draft capital without knowing who they're gonna get.
And that's what gives me
And
my
they wouldn't
reason.
get Hamburger Jones at 3,
Oh
bro,
no,
because he's
no, no.
brilliant.
I don't think
They could
so
have
either.
jumped up to 6.
You could have, or you could have sat at 12. He probably would have slid to you. It's no
Yeah,
guarantee that he would have. But my whole thing is, like you just said, you don't give up all of what you gave up to take the unknown. As far as like a Lance or a Jones, I don't think you do that. I think it's got to be one of the two guys that you just said. But also, man, we know that Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh are like this. We know that. And I really feel like the Niners to have made that move to get up to where they got up to, Salah had to say some. I mean, I know it's against the league rules for him to say who they're going to take, but he had to tell him something for him to, well, for us to be able to move up to where we moved up. Now, to get
yeah, of
into
course.
the players and the top three, or what I think the three players, unlike you, I do have Mac Jones at 3.
I know
I
you got
think Will,
Spaghetti Jones in
yeah,
there.
yeah. I got Wilson at 1 for us, and I got Fields at 2. Um, I've done a lot more research than I've done in prior weeks. I watched the pro day from Wilson. I mean, Fields, excuse me, and I'm actually a little higher on Fields than I've ever been prior to us doing this pod. I liked a lot of what I saw, and then I went into some of his highlights and I saw some of the hits that he took, and I saw how he didn't leave these games. He went on the sideline, maybe got a little rub down, a little ice. That dude got back in those games and played well after big
Exactly.
hits. Um, gotta touch this. Got to touch on this part, and I'll give it back to you. The whole bashing of Mac Jones thing, though, this is my biggest issue with that, and I've said it to you before. How can you be a guy that plays at a top talented college? You're playing with top level talent, NFL level talent, year in, year out, the past 2 years, and they're saying that you might not be able to play at a high level with NFL talent in the NFL. I mean, we
Look
all
at,
we all look at it differently. I know
oh, come
he
on.
wasn't. Hey, bro, I know he didn't get a lot of pressure. This offensive line we just built, we shouldn't be getting a lot of pressure on our quarterbacks this year, neither. You know what
Look
I
at,
mean?
look at, to your point, man. To your point. Yeah, he had the best O line in college. So put that
The best
aside. I get it, right?
receivers, the best
He had,
receivers,
there's his receivers are all in the top 10 to be drafted this year.
right,
Okay. So you're talking NFL level receivers with the best O line in college.
right, right.
So they're saying that he goes through his reads. Of course he's gonna go through his reads. He
Of
has
course,
top receivers
he's
and
got
the
all the
top of
time
the
in the
line.
world. True,
The NFL's a different beast.
we,
Everything's
100%,
quicker.
a hundred
So
percent. But how can you have a Jerry Judy? How could you have a Henry Ruggs, a Devontae Smith? These guys have been projected to be top, the best year in, year out, or the last 2 years coming out of college. Who's getting them the ball? How are they getting it? Who's throwing these guys these passes? How
I
do they
mean,
have these amazing tapes?
Tua was too, and Tua is nothing better than a backup.
I feel that. I mean, I
He
was
was
never
Tua's
really,
backup. He was
he
Tua's backup.
was. I was never really
So
that big on Tua anyway. But
so
yeah,
that's
I
what I'm
hear you.
saying.
I
If we're
hear you.
gonna really get into it, he was Tua's backup. And I think he's only
It
played
was.
17 games, so experience is not even on his side either.
It's not. I just don't like when I hear people bash someone that has
I
played
just
with NFL talent
don't like his face, man. I
almost
just
his
don't like his
whole
face.
college career. He's played with NFL level talent. You're telling me Debo, Kittle, and Ayuk aren't cream of the crop in the NFL? They are. So if it was easy for you with the Jarrett Judys and the Ruggs, and if it was that easy with those guys, it'll be just as easy with the Kittles, the Debo Samuels, the Brandon Ayuks. Dude, you got use check blocking. It's not going to be hard for this guy to come in and be able to get dubs. It
Look at
shouldn't be. It
look at.
really shouldn't be.
I will cry if we get Donut Jones as
Look,
quarterback at 3. For one, because I look at it like this, bro.
uh-huh,
You give up so much, right?
right,
And You came this close to winning the dance, and you didn't win it for one pass, right? And then you see
Right.
the guy on the other team that was shit for 3 quarters, and his elusiveness got him the win in the fourth,
It did.
right?
It did.
Okay. So we got Jimmy Garoppolo right now. He's not a mobile quarterback. Yeah, he can move around,
Right.
but he's fragile.
He
Matt
is.
Spaghetti Jones is the same way, right? He's not a mobile. He can move around. I'm not saying he's a
No,
statue.
no, he can move around, but not like
But
that.
so tell me this: why give up so much just to get another Jimmy?
And that is the only reason why I'm with you on this. Had we stayed at 12 and Mac Jones was the pick, I wouldn't have no problem with it if we stayed there. My problem is you don't move up to take Mac Jones. You don't do it. Not to say that he couldn't be the guy. I'm just saying you don't do that. We all know these picks have value. You know, there's a value to move up to a certain pick. You don't give up everything you gave up to pass on a Fields, to pass on a Wilson and draft Mac Jones. You don't do that. That's not the way it's been designed or the way you should do things. But I'm just saying I don't like the scrutiny and the bashing of Mac Jones that I see because this guy we wouldn't be raving about the Judys and the Ruggs when they came out, and these other guys had Mac Jones just being as trash as people are saying.
But
Um,
Tua had Judy and Ruggs balling. So again,
he
bro, like
did,
the you know what I'm saying? That
he
I
did.
get you. I get you. I get you. Look, at the
You
end
know
of the
what I
day,
mean?
if we draft them, all I could do is hope for the best, right? I mean, because what other choice do we have as Niner fans, right?
That's my
But
whole
I'll
thing.
I'll tell you this though, like I was saying, you give up so much and you make that big jump
Right?
just to get the safest bet, and
Yeah.
then the safest bet fails. I mean, you're look at I love Kyle. I don't want to lose him as a coach, but I feel like this decision could either make or break his career here in San Francisco. At least, obviously, I'm sure some other team will pick him up with a
No
quickness.
doubt. No
But
doubt.
I think that this move in a month on April 29th, bro, is going to determine whether he's going to be the coach for a long. If he's going to be the next Bill
If he's
Belichick
gonna
for us,
see this contract through,
because you're giving up. You, I mean, essentially, you're giving up 2 first rounds for the next 2 years, and if you suck,
right, you're gonna
that's
lose
going to
those
hurt.
picks. It's gonna
That's
hurt.
going to
You're gonna
hurt.
lose those picks. Okay, now
But
this two.
but
Okay, go ahead.
but if you pick Fields or Wilson, the fan base and even ownership will be like, hey, we swung for the fences, and hey, we missed, but guess what? At least we tried.
Few things I want to say real quick. All right.
Yeah,
First thing that always scares me when the Niners have a decent pick or we're gonna try to get a quarterback. I don't care if it's free agency. I don't care if it's through the draft, whatever you want to call it. I've been a Niner fan a long time, like you have, like a lot of our viewers, like a lot of people.
right.
The Niners have never, and I'm not singling out this regime, the last regime. None of the Niners are not one of those organizations that are great at drafting quarterbacks. We have
Nah,
never been great at drafting quarterbacks. If it's not Joe Montana, the greatest 49er ever, if it's not Montana, let's look back and see what else have we drafted at quarterback that really was that great. Steve Young came from the AFL. Steve Young wasn't drafted.
nah, he was traded. He was on the
You know what
Bucks.
I mean? Jeff Garcia was a really good 49er quarterback. I believe he came from some other league. He was older when we got him. He was you know what I mean? I don't believe we drafted him. There's
Alex
Colin
Smith.
Kaepernick. Colin
Alex Smith and
Kaepernick.
Collins. Yeah.
Kaepernick probably next to Montana would be probably the next best quarterback we drafted because we both
Alex
know
Smith.
Alex Smith wasn't shit for 6 years.
But we're
Going
talking
for
about
20,
what we
going for
drafted and ended
2,500
up
yards.
doing.
We took Alex Smith. Was it number one? We took Alex Smith,
Right, but again, I mean, we're talking about drafting the
bro,
quarterback, and the
bro.
way he ended his tenure with the 49ers was great.
But that
He
was
just had
because
some coaching.
he was able to get a head coach finally after having what
But right, so would you
seven
consider that
different
a
offensive coordinators, and finally you get a coach that put together a plan that works for you. The average NFL team would have already cut ties with him for 2,500 yards for 6 or 7 years straight. Alex Smith was not that guy. He ended
but
up
But he
His
wasn't a
back
bust,
end of his career has been a lot better than when he came.
right? I mean, you can't consider
He
him a
was not.
bust though.
I do not consider him a bust. I'm not saying a bust. I'm
Yeah,
saying
no, but I'm
quarterbacks that panned out to really be that guy. And Alex Smith is still not even the guy who took us to the Super Bowl. It was this guy. It was Kaepernick. We're not good at drafting quarterbacks. That's one thing that scares me. That I'm already scared. The next thing, bro, that I feel like you look at the percentage of quarterbacks drafted in the first round that actually pan out to be franchise guys or be hell serviceable quarterbacks. It's not that high.
but I
It's not
mean,
that.
okay, but
It's not that high.
these past 3 years,
League wide,
that has changed.
it's starting to change.
It has
And
changed.
Justin and not Justin. Is it Justin Herbert? Justin Herbert.
Yes.
He's one of
First
those
round.
guys that's kind of making a lot of people start to think, hey, you can take a risk on these guys that people are saying, and have something there. Like I said, I've been watching football a long time, bro, and I know drafting quarterbacks in the first round has always been hit or miss. It's always been hit or miss. You
Yeah.
don't. It's a
In the
big
past, yeah.
unknown. It's a
In the
big
past,
risk.
yeah. In the
It's a
past,
big
yeah.
risk.
But I mean, as of 3 years, you have Lamar, you have Mahomes, you have Watson, you have Allen, you have Herbert. I mean, those guys. You know what I'm saying? So things are starting to shift. So now the
Right.
best is the best, and of course, I think with anything, bro, you'll always find untapped talent in the undrafted or the later rounds. But I think it's starting to change, man. I think the first rounders, they're coming around. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Obviously,
Right.
I'm scared.
I'm,
I'm on the
I'm
same boat
worried.
as you.
I
I'm
told you I
scared.
was worried.
I'm
But
scared.
my last thing that I want to say, I had three. I really don't care who it is that we take. And I said this to you before. You know what I care about? I only care about one thing. I care about getting it right. That's all I care about. I care about us getting it right. And you might be upset. Other Niner fans might be upset. Let's just say the guy that they took, because Kyle was just in love with him, Mac Jones, but it actually ends up panning out and we end up winning and we get that sixth ring. We're all going to be happy.
Hey,
Nobody's going to be upset.
keep the receipts. Pull them out if
No,
that
no,
does happen.
I'm just saying. Even let's say the guy that we draft is Wilson. I don't care who it is, as long as it works out and we can win football games. You know what I mean? And I'm still not counting out Jimmy being the guy this year. They're saying Jimmy. The only way Jimmy won't be the starter this year is if he's flat outright beat out by the guy that we draft. If the guy that we draft is just worlds better than he's just so much better that Kyle has no choice but to say, look, Jimmy, we tried. We wanted you to be the guy this year, but this dude is just worlds better than you, and we're rolling with this guy. I don't even really expect to see the guy that we take play too much this upcoming year because everybody on our team is sold on run it back. We got hurt last year. We want to run it back. Remember, in one of our last shows that we did, we both sat here and said, we want Jimmy back. But all of this shit going on, and players were not players, but fans and people and other Niner podcast makers or whatever, they were all saying, get rid of Jimmy, get him out of there. Me and you sat here and said, let's run it back. I still got faith in Jimmy.
Hey, look it, bro. What I'm gonna say about a lot of Niner fans and podcasters, obviously is not talking bad about them, but I just feel like I've seen a lot of negativity surrounding the organization. I feel like when I listen to certain things, certain pods and stuff, like it's a bashing session towards the Niners. Look it. I'm like I told you before, bro. I like watching stuff that's unbiased, right? I also don't want to watch a Niner podcast that's Niners are the best. They make the best moves. All hail 49ers. Anything they do cannot be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Everything is right. I can't stand stuff like that either.
Yeah.
But I was just saying, as of late, bro, I feel like every player we got, like, dudes are like, trade him. He's worth everything. You could trade him. Jimmy sucks.
Right.
I don't trust Kyle. Kyle's gonna do this. You know what I'm saying? Kyle's never gonna change. All this crazy stuff.
And
Right?
we got on Kyle's head about some of that stuff too, but
But like you said though, you gotta keep faith, right? You gotta believe that he's gonna change. Obviously, and I feel like losing to Mahomes in the Super Bowl and getting destroyed by Josh Allen on what was it, Sunday Night Football, I think, or Monday Night Football, which
man,
tore us apart. I mean, I think if that wasn't a sign that you need to move with the times, look it, bro. If it's one thing I've learned, I heard this from not even football related. So
Hmm.
obviously I'm Salvadoran. So the president of El Salvador, they interviewed him
Hmm.
and they asked him about his, his political strategies and how he did things. So he said, and because he's a young dude, and they asked him why he's so progressive with everything. So
Right.
he said, in order for me to succeed and for the country to succeed, I have to move with the world. I have to move with the world, not against the world.
Facts.
Right. So back to 49ers, if Kyle's a smart guy, which I know he is, you gotta move with the world. I mean, I understand you might have a system and you have a
You gotta
preferred
go
type
with
of
what's the hot, what's been working for a lot of other teams.
exactly. And you look at the most recent balling QBs, Josh Allen, Lamar
Hmm.
Jackson, Patrick
Hmm.
Mahomes, Justin Herbert.
Hmm.
All these guys have the mobility. They're not run first quarterbacks. They're
No,
pocket
no.
passers that make something happen when your O line breaks down.
They're
And
they're
I'm just saying
Russell they're Russell Wilson esque.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So I have a tough time, and even though sometimes all these media outlets get me questioning my coach and everything,
Right.
it's hard for me to believe that they moved up to three to get fucking Donut Jones.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I'm with you. I'm not here to even argue that because I feel the same way. Um, it's funny to me though how the league turns, and this was what it was, and then 5 years later, everybody's trying to do this and mimic this because it's working for teams. Dude, we were the first people that tried to make that move.
Oh,
We went and got Cap.
and
Cap,
they said it
the
wasn't gonna
league,
stick.
they hated it. Everybody was against this is college football in the NFL. It's not going to work out. This is not how we do things here. Look at it now. Everybody's looking to get that guy that is going to go through the progressions. If it ain't there, he's going to get out that pocket and make it happen. We're the originators of this damn year. But like I said, I just want us to get it right, bro. If it's Fields, and I'm leaning a lot more on Fields than I've been, because I have a little bit of issue with Zach Wilson's durability. I'm not quite
He's
sure
small.
that he's small, and at this NFL level, guys like Aaron Donald, the Jason Pierre-Paul, there's some big dudes that are going to be coming to lay you down. And if you take those hits, can you get back up? Jimmy is not really a small guy by any stretch. Jimmy's not a
Nah,
little quarterback.
he's made out of
Jimmy
glass.
has a problem with getting up with these dudes hitting them. So I'm leaning more toward Fields than anything at this point. But like I said, man, more than anything, I just want us to get it right. I just wanted to get it right, bro. So
So
go ahead. Go ahead.
no, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
I'm
I
done.
was really building it up to pass it back to you anyway. So
Okay,
go
I
ahead,
we do. I was doing that. So obviously, you know what I'm saying. Discuss since we're obviously on the topic of who we want.
Right.
Media outlets are everybody's saying that Mac Jones is almost a sure thing to us at three, right? So,
Hmm.
like I said, I think the Niners are playing chess. I think they're putting out the word that they're going to get Mac Jones or that they want him when they're not going to get him. But I
Nah.
think it's to a higher purpose,
Right.
um, to try to get somebody to offer up. See, the thing is, it just doesn't make sense, right? But I think it doesn't make sense why the Niners would do that, even though I think they are.
Right.
Um, it just doesn't make it doesn't make sense. I don't even I just literally got lost in it because thinking about it, it makes no sense of why they
It's
would hype up Mac Jones.
it's funny to me because seeing everything that we're seeing now, and 49ers Twitter, everybody's getting all riled up. To me, this is plan B anyway. You know what I really think plan A was. We were the
Yeah,
only team sitting around just waiting to see what was going to happen with number 4 in Houston. Really, I think that was the 49ers plan A this offseason. We're going to make a splash. We're going to bring in number 4 from Houston. This is all of what we're watching now and what we're going through. It's just a plan B. The picks that we gave up was the package to get number 4 from Houston.
which
You
I
know
think
what I
he's
mean?
done. I think he's done this year in the NFL, at least this year. I wouldn't say forever, but I think he's done this
I
year.
don't know though, and like I said, I don't want to get too into his business, but from what I've been hearing recently, the lawyer that's backing all these women, he's been saying for the past 2 weeks that he was coming out with all the statements and all of the, the script, the transcripts from these women. It's been 2 weeks and he ain't dropped not one transcript yet. So
Look
it's
at,
more like a money grab as time
but
goes on.
I mean, I think you always got to take the women for their word, right? Because I feel like there's so
You have to.
many.
You have to.
Exactly. So, and but with Deshaun, it's innocent until proven guilty. But
Right.
on whether he's innocent or guilty, let's say if he's innocent, the fact that so we're deviating a little bit, but just to get back to the point, but just to give a little synopsis about it, 18 massage therapists came out, said that he's good, he's respectful, none of that went down. But now the bigger point is, bro, why are you hitting up 40 women on IG to get a massage? When as an athlete, you should have one massage that maybe two, but 40 different women and on IG? Whether you're innocent, bro, like I said, this year
Right,
he's
right,
fucked.
right, right,
I feel
right,
like
right.
he's gonna get suspended at least a minimum 7 games, bro. So he's gonna be useless to anybody this year.
Oh, no
Uh,
doubt about it. He's looking at least at least, I want to say half the year is going to be gone. At least. And that's if they
so,
find everything to just be, bull.
but yeah, like to your point, I think this is Plan B, or
Hmm.
maybe it was Plan A because from the press conference, bro, it seems like the way Kyle Shanahan spoke, bro, it seems like they had been waiting for this draft and they were gonna get their guy no matter
Right.
what. This
We also were that one team that were linked to so many quarterbacks via the media when it was Stafford, when it was all these different guys. And what happens every time these guys were moved or signed somewhere? What did John Lynch come out and say? Oh, nope, wasn't us. Nope. After multiple channels, after multiple writers, after multiple sources, the Niners were linked to Stafford, the Niners this, that. What did he come out and say? Nope, not us. That wasn't us. Nope, we didn't make those calls. We weren't interested. The Niners are trying to do they're really good, or I don't want to say really good, but they're pretty good at playing that pickaboo. Oh, we're here. Oh, we're over there. No, we're not nowhere. They've been doing that a lot. So I don't believe, bro, that this was the plan the whole time. It really felt like we were hours away from closing a deal. It felt like getting number 4. And then when all this came out, you have to stray away from that. You have to deviate away from that plan. They don't want to touch that. The Niners have had nothing but bad luck with players in those type of situations. You go back to Reuben Foster.
yeah,
You can go back to Alden Smith with his drinking and all of his substance abuse problems and whatever.
yeah.
We're not a team that needs to put our hat back in that ring. You got to deviate from that. We go to the next thing. Plan B, move up in the draft and get a guy.
And like we
Okay?
said, like we said about Watson, bro, the innocent or guilty, bro, just the trending of hitting up girls like that, it seems like it would be an ongoing problem wherever he goes. If all this
Right.
comes to light or whatever, again, bro, yeah, you might be right. This is probably Plan B, but
It's Plan B. It's Plan B.
but I think it was Plan A, Plan B. I think it was
Or
they
maybe
were
maybe it was Plan A, one
AA,
A, 1A, and one
two
B,
A. Yeah, there you go.
you
Yeah,
know what I mean, or one B, whatever, however you want to look at it. Maybe that was what they were, And from like you just was telling me earlier, and I want to go into this. Seems like Kyle and John Lynch aren't even really on board right now with who they really want at 3. There's some talks that these guys aren't really even 100%
yeah.
on board with who they want at 3. And that's what scares me even more. As a front office, you guys got a month. You got less than a month to get this thing together and to make this pick, to make this decision. The last thing we need is to be unsure as a front office of who we want. This needs to
Yeah.
be 110%. Hey, this is the guy. This is who I want. This is who you want. This is who we're taking. But
I
also,
look. I think again, bro. I keep alluding to it. I think we're not that dumb to jump up to 3 and give up so much and not know who we're gonna get.
that's the thing. And that's what I've been saying, and that's how I feel this whole time. You gotta know. You have to have heard something from the Jets to even make you want to move up in the first place. Because from what I heard, the Niners weren't just making phone calls to Miami. They talked
No,
to the Jets. They talked to who's sitting at 4. And
Atlanta.
I'm Kyle in Atlanta. I'm sure he had talked. We looked around and seen where the temperature was. And Miami was the one that was like, you know what? We see something we want. We don't have to take this dude at 3. We can move back, and that's why that deal was made. Then they
Well, look,
moved back up to 6. So,
but
you know
so
what I mean?
check this though. From what John Lynch said in the presser was that they moved up to 3 before anybody even tried to make that move. Like this was
Smart,
already a month in the making.
smart.
So he said, obviously, they made calls to Miami,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously they made calls to the Jets, bro. Like you said, the Jets can't officially come out and tell you, hey, bro, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But maybe they did, bro. Salah and Kyle are like this, bro. He brought him on, made him a DC, got him a head coaching job.
Got him a head coaching job. Yes, yes.
So the Niners have, I would almost say, 2 guys in mind, right? Because they're similar styles of play, Wilson and Fields.
Right.
But again, I just feel like one guy's plan B, right? In case, but I don't know what. No, there's no plan B. You
No,
moved
it
up that
can't
far.
be.
You asked the Jets who they weren't gonna get. You probably know who
Right,
they are gonna get,
right.
and you did it with intentions to sign the guy that you wanted, or else you wouldn't have done that. The Niners are not risk takers like that. They don't make calculated moves.
Exactly my point. Exactly my point. So
The
to
thing that
hear
scares me is that Donut Jones might be their pick at 3. Maybe that's the guy they wanted, but no, they didn't have to jump that far. I don't know, bro. I'm crazy.
they really didn't have to jump that far, and to be honest, man, we're getting close to the end here, guys. I know we're kind of rambling on about this last part, but this is the biggest thing going on right now in Ninerland. You know what I mean? So, but I just kind of feel like, bro, you guys got to come together. You have to have a consensus pick. You have to. This is not the place to be at to be unsure. You can be unsure of who you're taking at 12.
Yeah.
No problem with that. We're going to take the best guy available, or we drafting for need. That is okay. You cannot be unsure at 3. At 3, you did your due diligence of making the phone calls and calling around to see what the temperature was. Now you got to have your sight set on one player, and that's got to be the guy. And you got to get it. You got to get it right. We got to get this right, bro. We got to get it right.
The Niners are the center of attention. Rumors and stories are coming out of the woodworks, man. Now there's a story that Kyle and Lynch are not even on the same page, that they're split about who they want, that Lynch wants one guy and
Right.
Kyle wants another.
Yeah.
So I think this is probably all chess, and it just sucks that we have to wait damn near a month to get our answer.
To really find out. Right.
You know what I'm saying? But and the weeks leading up, man, it's gonna be a roller coaster. Obviously, I think we're gonna keep up with these shows now. Now that the news is juicy.
Yeah, now that we've just broken in and we're up to date now with everything that's going on, we're gonna keep the ball rolling all the way up until the draft, till the season starts. We're back. We took a hiatus. We're back at the jump off now. Like my girl Kim said, we back at the jump off. We back now. So expect to get more shows from us. Any last thoughts? Anything else you want to give the people right now before we close this thing down?
Man, keep the faith in all you Niner fans that are out there bashing the 49er leader and Kyle Shanahan and questioning and saying that he'll never change his ways. Man, are you really a Niner fan? I mean, really?
Are you? Hey, man, and I just got to say this real quick because I've been on the YouTube and I've been on all these different sites and debating with people back and forth. And I always try to rein everybody back in at the end of the day if it gets a little argumentative. And I tell everybody, look, at the end of the day, we're all Niner fans here.
Of course.
We all need to just come together, homie. There's no reason to sit here and argue and bicker back and forth. You got your beliefs or thoughts, and I got mine. At the end of the day, we're going to support the guy that's drafted either way. There it is. You know what I mean? Either way, we're going to get behind the guy that they draft. So let's not argue and fight over this. Let's just hope. We have no choice. Let's just hope that we get it right, fellas. That's it. So, you know what I mean? From the Bay to LA, we back on. We about to get this thing back rolling. We're gaining steam. Let's get it. It's your boy LeBron, co-anchor here. My boy Primo. You feel me? Bam. Merch. Hey, drop your merch, man. Let them know where they can grab that. If you up there in the band, you know what I mean? Support my boy Primo. Follow him on IG, Primo. Go get your cousin. Go get your Primo shit. You feel me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's do it, man.
We'll be back. We'll be back soon, guys. We'll be back. If not this weekend, the beginning of next week, we'll bring you guys another show. Hopefully, there's more splash news. Some other things happen that we have something to talk about. If not, it'll be a whole new show of us touching on the latest things that are pretty much what we close with today.
But we're signing right now. So we the from the Bay to LA gossip channel
from the Bay to LA.
What's going on right now?
Your boys, you feel me? We out of here, man.
All right, late.